Hello everyone, DMLG Skylanderman 360 here today, and today we are reacting to Mewtwo versus BlackWarGreymon. This was made by Crossover. This is their Battle Royale series, and I'm actually well known for only one of them, actually two. I did watch a little bit of the second season for Digimon. I never got to a certain point of it where I met BlackWarGreymon yet. But I do play Pokemon with the most powerful character here being Mewtwo, which is really interesting. I actually am right now playing Shield, and this is going to be interesting to me because I am actually curious. One that is biogenetically created by the Pokemon research team versus seeing a creation that was the opposite of Agumon. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, crossover X, not crossover X. Oh my lord. I'm sorry.
Magic and myths are great and all, but when it comes to the true nature of living beings, science is the champ. With many new technological advances, people have taken science even further by using it to create new life. Because screw the old-fashioned way. However, with evil people comes the creation of evil beings, sent out to destroy anything that moves. But who knows? Said creations just might end up learning from their mistakes and gain a soft spot for those around them. Just like today's two fighters, built to be the ultimate creations of their kind.
I'm Manny, and I'll be researching Mewtwo, the genetic Pokemon.
I'm Chelsea, and I'll be researching BlackWarGreymon, the Jet Black Dragon Warrior Digimon.
I am a Fight Analysis and Conclusion Tolerance software, or FACTS for short, and I will be determining the victor with their research taken into account.
And I'm Rick Rucker, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is Battle Royale!
Alright. Nice intro. I'll give him that. That's a really nice intro.
Ever since ancient times, the mythical Pokemon called Mew has been a mystery to people, seldom showing itself to others. But every secret has to be revealed at some point, and of course the ones to get the details on this Pokemon were the evil crime syndicate, Team Rocket. Team Rocket has a scientist named Dr. Fuji, who was famous for experiments in DNA and cloning to obtain a sample of Mewtwo's DNA with the promise of a large reward in cash. Fuji agreed to the expedition, but for his own personal reasons instead. You see, Fuji's daughter Amber had passed away, and Dr. Fuji was looking for a way to recreate her. When Team Rocket offered him the money he needed to bring her back, he agreed. After Fuji found the fossilized eyelash of the mythical Pokemon Mew, it was used to engineer the most powerful Pokemon, Mewtwo. Along with Mewtwo, Fuji also created clones of the Kanto starters and Amber. He grew up with them as friends, but sadly on one night when they were all looking at the moon and stars, Amber and the starters died right in front of him.
Ouch. I feel like he'd be traumatized by that.
So did Fuji. He erased all of Mewtwo's memories so he'd forget seeing the loss of the people he was closest to.
Dang.
This would later be his downfall, as Mewtwo escaped years later, confused and conflicted. He destroyed the lab he was created in, but was found by the leader of Team Rocket, Giovanni. Mewtwo was used by Team Rocket for years, but after learning that Giovanni didn't view them as equals, he escaped. Tearing off the restraining armor he was forced to wear to limit his power. To shorten the story, Mewtwo went off to New Island, asked strong trainers to come to the island, only to steal and clone their Pokemon so that he could prove that cloned Pokemon were stronger and better than trained ones. Then when fighting Mew, Ash Ketchum decided to step in and handle the whole thing himself.
By getting turned to stone? Idiot.
Yeah, but then he got turned back to normal by plot tears of all the Pokemon, even the clones. This changed Mewtwo, as he realized that clones and non-clones were not as different as he first thought.
I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are
I hope
irrelevant.
this ain't copyright.
It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
That was a beautiful quote.
I am only a robot, yet I am also feeling sad, inspired, and teary-eyed. I don't even have eyes.
With this new knowledge, Mewtwo decided to leave New Island with the clones he had created so that they could live peacefully together, and to not burden the humans and Pokemon. Well, after erasing everyone's memory, of course. Yep, but he also has some neat tricks up those non-existent sleeves.
You mean with Pokemon attacks?
That he does. Mewtwo knows several unique attacks. As a legendary Pokemon, who are your super Pokemon Jesus gods, Mewtwo has access to a plethora of moves. He can launch ghostly energy with Shadow Ball, use his aura to attack with the never-missing Aura Sphere, and create a torrent of flames with Fire Spin, which deals chips of damage over time. But there's nothing wrong with the classic Psychic, a form of weaponized telekinesis.
Right.
The move is so versatile, it can take different forms in blades, fangs, and headbutts. This Pokemon prefers to attack enemies using nothing but his three-fingered hands and mind. Mewtwo uses Psychic to even lift heavy Pokemon like Onix, make himself fly, or create hurricanes.
The hurricane Mewtwo created was large enough to swallow New Island. It was even big enough to make the port of another island extremely windy. Calculating the time it took Mewtwo to create the storm along with the size of the areas it was caught up in, creating this storm of Psychic would be about 1.7 gigatons of TNT.
Jesus
Sweet!
Christ.
But I'm not even done yet. Mewtwo can also heal himself with Recover, Teleport, Predict the Future with Future Sight, swap any stat boost with his opponent, whether attack or defense, with Power and Guard Swap, make foes unable to use certain attacks with Disable, protect himself from any attack with Protect, increase his defense with Barrier and Reflect, and make himself immune from status conditions with Safeguard.
Manny, we know you like Pokemon and all, but do you really have to list every attack Mewtwo gets?
Yes, I do. Mewtwo can copy a foe's attack, make it stronger, and use it before them using me first. Create earthquakes, crush foes with Electrical Crash, use another form of telekinesis that makes every attack hit, shoot up a giant energy ball with Focus Blast, spew fire with Flamethrower, something from the sky with Thunder, punch with the elements fire, ice, and electricity, and even uses steel energy for the opponents. Then there are the attacks Mewtwo uses when he goes over the kill like Herd Beam, burst of enormous amount of energy that obliterates foes, but it needs to recharge it when it hits. And last but certainly not least is Side Strike, Mewtwo's signature attack. By utilizing a Psychic Wave, Mewtwo somehow targets and damages the opponent's physical defense instead of their special defense.
You would be dying, dude.
You okay there, Manny?
Yeah.
And we're done with all the Pokemon attacks, right?
Yep.
What's next?
Miscellaneous moves.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
Nope. This episode's gonna be the end of me. Mewtwo can also use his psychic abilities for techniques such as turning himself invisible, telepathy, mind control, the ability to detect others who are hidden, and for erasing memories of multiple people and Pokemon at once, one of which being Alakazam, who is a potent psychic-type Pokemon that has an IQ of 5,000.
That is impossible to achieve.
I don't write these Pokedex entries. Related to the whole memory thing, Mewtwo can read the entire memory of a living being in a matter of seconds. This includes memories of opponents' attacks and techniques that Mewtwo can learn about. For physical combat, should Mewtwo not feel like firing off drain punches or whatever, he has a giant spoon.
Excuse me?
You heard me right. He cut a building in half with it once.
Silph.Co has 11 floors, putting it at about 110 feet high. It is about 38 feet in width and 85.5 feet in length. In order for Mewtwo to slice it in half with his spoon, he would have had to have put out 1,207,417 megapascals of force.
Jesus.
That's pretty impressive for being a giant eating utensil.
The last thing Mewtwo had...
Pokemon.
Mewtwo is equipped with Mewtwonite Y, which allows him to Mega Evolve into Mega Mewtwo Y. And before Chelsea mentions it,
Hey!
Mewtwo does not need a trainer in order to Mega Evolve. He's shown several times that he's able to do so on his own. With that argument out of the way, Mega Mewtwo Y was fast enough to breach escape velocity, which is about 33 times the speed of sound. Even as regular Mewtwo, Mewtwo was skilled and smart enough to create his own cloning machines, despite, memory loss, and defeated Deoxys and Articuno in combat. Not to mention the survivability on this guy is nuts. He toughened out through some of the strongest attacks, like Attack Form Deoxys' Psycho Boost, Double Impalement through the back, a major beating from Red's Mega Charizard X, and Articuno's Blizzard. Then there's Mega Mewtwo Y's greatest feat of all. He was able to help halt the Tree of Life's ascent into the sun with help from Deoxys and Mega Rayquaza.
The Tree of Life is what roots Earth in place so it does not go out of control. Dark matter was responsible for nearly killing it, making the tree almost hurl into the sun, which would have destroyed the Earth as well. But with the combined power of Deoxys, Mega Rayquaza, and Mega Mewtwo Y, they were able to counteract dark matter. In order to stop this, each one must have been putting out 0.9 tenatons of force, enough to destroy a dwarf star.
Manny, I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's pretty cool.
Thanks, Chels. What is it?
Sorry, it just physically hurts me to compliment you. Don't forget the things that Mewtwo is weak to, like bug, ghost, and dark type attacks.
Of course. But I don't think BlackWarGreymon is a dark type.
BlackWarGreymon doesn't need type effectiveness to beat this Psycho Kitty anyway.
An awesome Psycho Kitty. Wouldn't want this one to scratch me up like my cat Muffins. It would be way worse.
We dreamed of creating the world's strongest Pokemon. And we succeeded.
Have you ever thought to yourself, what if there was a world where video game characters lived together? Well, two young boys by the names of Yukio and Hiroki sure did. One day, they discovered that they can interact with the digital world and its inhabitants, the Digimon.
And that, my friends, is how you make your self-inserted Pokemon fanfics into a series. Just rename your monsters and you're good. No copyright law in the world will be able to defeat your royalty-free monsters.
You'll be finished laughing when Mewtwo gets turned into nothing but a pile of organs. Yukio and Hiroki spent their youths learning about these creatures, but Hiroki passed away when they were teenagers. His death was devastating to Yukio. And that's not all. Once Yukio discovered a way to visit the digital world, he found out that only kids could enter.
I know that feeling. I still miss visiting my local ball pit. I don't care what they say. You're never too old to play with some balls.
Rick, could you never say that again?
Oh my lord.
What did I say?
As I was saying, Yukio was extremely frustrated, and his negative feelings only increased after the first generation of the Digidestin managed to stop the fusion of the real and digital worlds. Yukio commanded his two favorite creations, Arcanimon and Mummymon, to fill the digital world with control spires that would allow Yukio to enter it, even as an adult. However, the meddling Digidestin kept foiling Arcanimon and Mummimon's schemes. But that all changed the day that Arcanimon used 100 black strings from her hair to create the new Digimon from the control spires. And thus, BlackWarGreymon was born.
Wait, you can create Digimon by using hair? If I had known that earlier, I would already have an army of digital monsters at my disposal.
You would also be bald. Not like you had that much hair to begin with.
Why, you...
Seconds after being born, BlackWarGreymon curb-stomped all the Digidestin's Digimon. But like how all science fiction thrillers will tell you, powerful creatures don't exactly enjoy being controlled by weaker beings. So he flew out of the scene to go look for the meaning of life or something like that.
Real emo stuff.
He's a mega-level Digimon. Basically, it's one of the higher ranks in the Digimon universe. Look at the Digimon Agumon as an example. It looks all cute and cuddly, but when it digivolves, it turns into a gigantic dinosaur, then a cyborg dinosaur, and then a dragon warrior who can summon the spirit bomb. As for fighting, BlackWarGreymon has the Draymon Fighters, a pair of claw weapons which are extremely effective against Draymon-type Digimon. Even when his opponent isn't a dragon, he could still turn you into a shish kebab.
Now you've got me hungry.
The BWG also has the Brave Shield, an enormous shield that can protect him from attacks, and is layered in Chrome Digizord armor, the strongest metal in the Digimon universe.
Chrome Digizord armor is only found in the digital world, but since that world is based on our own, it actually is stronger than our own toughest metals like titanium.
BlackWarGreymon also has some pretty neat attacks. His Draymon Fire lets him spit out a small fireball to attack. Despite this attack looking unimpressive, he can still throw back ultimate level Digimon with it.
And an ultimate level is...
Only one level lower than Mega, which is pretty impressive for being such a basic attack. BlackWarGreymon can also reflect Energy Blast with both his claws and the Brave Shield, and has the ability to fly.
How does he fly without wings? Does he have telekinesis like Mewtwo?
It's done by godly power that he used on one occasion to destroy a galaxy.
Whoa, seriously?
Nope. You're too gullible. No one knows how he flies. It's Digimon.
Shut up.
BlackWarGreymon can create a giant twister called the Black Tornado. This attack is strong enough to lift Mammothmon, who's the size of a building and wears Chrome Digizord armor, making it really heavy.
Now I see why mammoths went extinct.
Rick, actually...
Just let him live in his own little world, Facts. BlackWarGreymon has also displayed the ability to, create portals?
Why are you the one confused about this? This is your character being analyzed.
Look, it's very vague. It could be a cloud, it could be a portal, I don't know.
You know, if Mewtwo does win, it might be because somebody didn't analyze their combatants correctly.
You are slacking, Chelsea.
Oh, quiet you. That's the only thing I'm confused about. The strongest attack that BlackWarGreymon can perform is called the Dark Terror Destroyer.
It's a spirit bomb.
That joke was made already.
Aww.
The Dark Terror Destroyer is a
Spirit
massive
bomb.
ball made up of negative emotions. Anything that gets hit by this attack will be devastated.
Even with all that, how's he gonna be able to match the power of Mega Mewtwo Y?
I'm glad you asked. After making contact with an element called X-Antibody, BWG obtained a new, much more powerful form, BlackWarGreymon X. With this new form, BlackWarGreymon can become far stronger than his original form. He's been shown to be able to fight off members of the Royal Knights, including Omnimon, whose power can shake and potentially destroy the universe.
Keep in mind that this does not make BlackWarGreymon X actually able to destroy a universe, but he can still harm those who can.
His transformation also comes with a nice speed upgrade to boot. He's on the same level as MagnaGarurumon, who can move faster than the speed of light.
Alright, we get it. He's great. Can you get this over with?
Of course. BlackWarGreymon was able to survive the explosion of a combination of WarGreymon, Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode, and even his own attacks at once. He's fallen fast enough to create a Mach Cone, meaning he must have been going at least the speed of sound, and intercepted a darkness attack from Malomyotismon, whose abilities allowed him to spread his darkness all over the real world in seconds.
It was about 10 seconds. Considering how much it spread out over such a short amount of time, BlackWarGreymon was reacting to attacks that could reach a bit over Mach 2800.
His Dark Terror Force attack managed to destroy a Holy Stone, and another time, it caused BlackWarGreymon to briefly become Moses and split the ocean in two for a long period of time.
Black Moses Greymon?
No. But BWG
Oh my
does
God.
indeed lift, being strong enough to pick
Come
up a
on.
Crane and Cleomon and other heavy Digimon. Plus, he wiped the floor with Magna Angemon, who was one of the strongest Digimon at that point in the series. So, pretty impressive all things considered. In the end, even BlackWarGreymon has to have some
Weaknesses. BlackWarGreymon has a code of honor, if you will. He won't kick an opponent while they're down, or try any dirty tricks while he fights. His shield, while it's withstood some admittedly impressive hits, has been broken before. And it's not a stretch to say it couldn't happen again.
Anyways, his shield breaking should hardly be an issue for BlackWarGreymon, seeing as how he stayed fighting for incredibly long amounts of time. He would just turn into BlackWarGreymon X to utterly destroy whoever was fighting evenly with him in the first place.
Except Mewtwo.
I'm not so sure about that, brother.
Oh
One thing's for sure. I definitely wouldn't want to run into this guy in a dark alley.
I know who that is.
It's BlackWarGreymon.
Oh man, there's so much. I think that could be something copyright. Oh boy. Oh. I had to realize that scared me.
Well, there's the end of that. We're about to see two artificially created monsters duke it out. But who will win in this brain versus brawn match? Take a moment to take in all the information you got and come up with your own conclusion.
Fight analysis complete. I've concluded the most likely out of thousands of possible outcomes and created a visual interpretation of their research.
Then you know what that means. It's showtime!
I'm gonna just put that on it. I think this is gonna be BlackWarGreymon's win, isn't it? Because Mega Evolve is way different than what Pokemon Evolution is. But we'll see.
Leave this place immediately.
I won't leave until I figure out where exactly I am. So I suggest you move out of the way. Fine, then I'll move you myself.
Interesting.
Dang. Nah, he's got the actual screen of it. Try them. Oh crap.
It's showtime!
Your attempts at harming me are futile.
What?
Oh! Spoon. Ah. Oh! 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 Oh shit. Oh! Yep. Thought.
Nice try, fool.
Dang.
This isn't going anywhere.
Time to take things up a notch!
Enough of these games. This ends now.
Oh, it comes down to why now.
It's time to end this. Destroyer!
He confused it.
Oh! How?
Now, where the hell am I? KO!
You know, I had a feeling this would happen. Still thought Mewtwo could pull through, though.
Yo, Brobot, can we get those results?
Sure.
Despite Mewtwo's massive arsenal and incredible intelligence, the gap between stats was too much for him to handle. While Power Swap and Guard Swap would have been viable options for turning the tides, they don't work against Mega Evolved Pokemon, and BlackWarGreymon turning into BlackWarGreymon X would be a similar situation. Guard Swap wouldn't have magically gave Mewtwo Chrome Digizord armor either, and by the time BlackWarGreymon transformed into his X form, it most certainly would have been too late for Mewtwo to use Power or Guard.
Yep. BlackWarGreymon fought Imperial Dramon fighter mode, tanking hits from him and dealing them as well, who can destroy stars. There was no way Mewtwo would be capable of winning it in brute force alone, so all he could rely on were his wide arsenal and speed. Too bad for Mewtwo, as the BWG also takes a speed category.
While reaching escape velocity would have made Mewtwo over Mach 33, BlackWarGreymon has reacted to attacks and beings that range from Mach 2800 to faster-than-light speeds.
But what about Mega Mewtwo Y and his mind control?
Let's be real here. This fight would be over before either decided to use their transformations due to the massive gap in stats. But if you want an answer, take it away, Rick.
Okay, let's see. Mega Mewtwo Y's psychic power is impressive with being able to help stop the Tree of Life from going into the sun. But not only was that done with the aid of other powerful Pokemon, BlackWarGreymon X's identical counterpart, WarGreymon X, has fought stronger foes than even that. Omnimon was shaking the entire universe willy-nilly like he didn't even care, and he was doing pretty well in that fight. And the speed gap gets even farther when you consider how Omnimon and the other Royal Knights were on par with Magna Garurumon, who moves at speeds faster than light.
But what about the Mind Wipe? Surely that would have let Mewtwo win, right?
No. As seen in the fight, erasing BlackWarGreymon's memories would mean nothing in the end. Remember, when he was born and had no memories to begin with, he was still able to defeat the Digidestin despite not knowing what he was doing. It's very likely that if Mewtwo did erase BlackWarGreymon's memories, he would still go all out and attack whatever was in front of him. In fact, it might even make him deadlier.
That's not all. Remember that BlackWarGreymon's version of the Terror Destroyer increases its power by gathering negative emotions. And an attack derived by negativity and evil emotions? Doesn't that sound familiar? Because I swear there's some Dark-type Pokemon moves which have the same properties.
You're kidding. I didn't even think about that.
In a high-octane battle between these two emos, there's enough negative emotions swirling around to power up the attack to an astronomical level. And given its Dark-type properties, Mewtwo had no reliable ways of countering it, especially when he's feeding off to its attack power and his Psychic-type Pokemon's unfortunate disadvantage against Dark-types. Even if BlackWarGreymon isn't a Dark-type Pokemon himself, it's still more than enough to overwhelm Mewtwo.
And what about Mewtwo trapping BlackWarGreymon inside another dimension?
Remember, BlackWarGreymon can create portals, I think. There's nothing stopping him from just creating one to come back. Even then, Mewtwo would get destroyed before that would even happen.
Indeed, there are other forms of Mewtwo besides Mega Mewtwo Y, but forms such as Armored Mewtwo, Shadow Mewtwo, and Mega Mewtwo X do not show the same level of feats. Even when taking those into account, the results do not change. In fact, it tips the scales in BlackWarGreymon's favor even more. Even at the full power of Mega Mewtwo Y, Mewtwo barely had enough power to compete equally with even base BlackWarGreymon's durability and destructive capacity. And once BlackWarGreymon X came into play, Mewtwo had a 0% chance of winning.
I guess in the end, it was just too much for the genetic Pokemon. Sorry, I know that was a terrible pun, but Mewtwo just didn't stay mindful against this Digimon. The winner of this Battle Royale is BlackWarGreymon.
Flower. Save.
And it goes a little.
Yeah, I might as well turn that down. That's gonna be copyright on me. But yeah. You know, and I also just gonna admit, while Mewtwo, yes, being a legendary Pokemon, as I stated before, it also comes down to, like, per se, evolution, in which Mega Digimon, in going beyond between, like they stated with, like, BlackWarGreymon X, I feel like, yeah, the whole thing with Digimon and Pokemon evolutions, it really comes down to the fact that Digimon can just, and it just, that beats a lot of them. And I think that's what gets them killed. Alright.
You will know the sting of winter.
Sub-Zero. Hey. Do not know who you are. That is saying something, y'all. I do not know who that is. Oh. Okay. Sub-Zero versus Koala Diamond. I do not know who that is. Ooh. But yeah, that was Mewtwo vs. BlackWarGreymon. I hope y'all enjoyed that reaction. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.